Good day, everybody. My name is Crazitender, the CEO of the one and only Flexx Network, bringing you my very first gameplay of Ghost Recon Future Soldier. You may be asking yourself right now why this video is going so fast. Well, for the first clip, I decided to fast forward just a little bit because honestly, it was really bad. I did get some enemy kills right there, and that wasn't the bad part. The bad part was, honestly, even though I played the beta just a little bit, there still is a learning curve when it comes to this game. And starting right there, don't run blindly around corners. That is going to be your first lesson of the day. Um, it's a little bit different. Again, I'm just kind of in the Call of Duty mindset of running around and taking care of business, and it really does not work in this game. This is a team-based game, which I have to say, out of the couple of games that I've played with this and then afterwards before this video came out, there's not a lot of communication, which goes very, very poorly for your team. I still did all right in this game, but at the same time, it made the game a whole lot harder. So again, first, don't go sprinting around looking for the bad guys. Take your time. Sit and, well, I'll say move from cover to cover. If you're standing out in the open, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. That's the mechanics of the game. Mechanics of this one is you're supposed to stay behind cover, and I will show you that in just a second here. But with again, I played the beta. I didn't play very much. I kind of just got a feel for it, made a video or two, and then moved on. There was a bunch of other games coming out, so I kind of decided to go with those rather than continue just playing the beta, since it really wasn't going to do much for me, honestly. With this gameplay, and right here's what I'm talking about. I'm standing out in the open. I'm not using cover, and I died very quickly, even though I had the drop on both of them. So again, go back to using cover. The gameplay honestly has a lot of Battlefield 3 feel to it, to me. I get maybe it's the look of it. I'm not really sure exactly why I'm feeling Battlefield 3, but it is a slower paced game. It's, pick your spots, find the enemy, and with this game style that I'm doing, which is conflict, basically what they're doing is popping up different objectives for your two squads on your team to accomplish. So I have to admit, it automatically kind of turns this into a little bit of a campy game. Seize the objective and hold it until time runs out, and then move on to the next one. That's just kind of how it goes. If you're a anti-camper, sorry, this game might not be for you. At least this game type will not be. They have come out with other ones. I know there's a Saboteur, which is kind of like, there's a Call of Duty one, Sabotage, just like Sabotage. There you go. Shows how much I've been thinking. But then they have other ones that has a no respawn, kind of like a search and destroy. Honestly, I haven't played a lot of those games, so I'm not going to go into real in depth on what they are. You can see right here, you can be revived from your teammates as long as it wasn't a critical kill. But as you can see, my screen is still red, so you do not just automatically jump up and start healing yourself. It does take a little bit of time. One of the other kind of, I don't want to say it's bad, but it's weird, is you actually have two zooms, I guess you can say. If you pull your left trigger, and what you're seeing right now is regular, and hopefully I will take a little time on my next one. When you pull your left trigger, it brings up something that looks very similar to the Call of Duty, right here. That's when you're zoomed, or when you just pull the left trigger. You get that little crosshairs. Then if you click the right stick, you actually go to your iron sights. It's a little bit weird, but I don't want to say it's bad yet. It feels a little bit different. But this is where I kind of sit and kind of camp this corner, hoping that I can fend off anyone who's going for our intel point here. But I do like the game. I'd really like to get on with a team of 8, or at least a squad of 4 people who are actually communicating, talking, because these guys that I'm with, and I'm not saying they're any worse or any better than me, but they're kind of off doing their own thing. They've actually kind of trapped them back towards their spawn, and uh, and they're holding them there, which is a good thing. But later on, it actually comes back to bite me because I'm on a point trying to seize the objective, and my guys are nowhere to be found. So, like I said, I really want to check it out with 4 or 5 of my friends and see how much the playing's different. I've noticed most of them at this point in time are playing the campaign. Rock on. I'm not a huge campaign guy, so I haven't started it yet. I probably will work on it later in the future. But again, I went and I checked on YouTube today, and I didn't see a whole lot of videos out there covering Ghost Recon. So I decided, hey, let me get home and record my first game, which I said there was a pretty steep learning curve with my first game. But let me record my first game and get out there and put it out for others to see. Because honestly, I think it's a pretty badass game. It's something different. It's something fun. Actually, with this one, I believe I'm using the AK-47, which was with the Signature Edition. We received that. Mark 14 for the U.S. Forces. A new map, a couple of different head options, which I haven't changed anything on my guy yet. I think the only thing I did was for my AK-47 after this match, I gave myself a front grip to help with the recoil a little bit. But all in all, I enjoyed playing the beta, so I really enjoyed this game as well. Just the cover and the movement to cover and just the feel of it. Again, sprinting's a little bit off, as you can see. I'm like sprint, but it's really hard to turn and control as you're sprinting, which probably isn't the worst thing in the world. But because if you're sprinting, you're not really thinking too much about what's around you. So I guess turning and all that would be a little bit difficult. You saw right there again. I was standing out in the open and I died because I wasn't undercover. And this kind of plays the same route. I'm trying to throw a grenade at him, and I'm behind something, but I'm not using it as cover, which he is actually pushed up against the front of that vehicle, and we have our little firefight exchange here. But again, I have no idea what my teammates are doing. They're out doing their own thing, but again, get up there, and I think for Xbox players, if you hold A, it'll bite you up against that objective or that cover, and it'll hold. It'll catch a lot of bullets for you. You'll last a whole lot longer. Right about this time is where I really started figuring that out, and I start moving from cover to cover rather than just sprinting, because this was crazy. It kind of disappeared on me, but when you're behind cover, you'll see this little yellow circle with an arrow on top of a little reticle. And what that does is it shows you where you're going to be moving to next if you push and hold A. So basically, he will automatically sprint to that location. And that is by far the best way to move around this map. If you know you're not going to come in contact with enemies prior to that, hey, take off across the map, get closer to. But once you get into contact with enemies, definitely start using that jumping from cover to cover to move that way. But I said I thought about playing a little bit more and reading up a little bit more, but I wanted to give more of a just my opinion on playing this game rather than what I've read and what I've heard other people say, and being I guess a first impression or my first recorded game. I really wanted it to be, I guess, a little bit of this raw nature to it. So if you don't like that, my apologies. Please let me know in the comments. But I'm kind of jumping around on it just because of the fact that that's when you start a new game. That's kind of what you're doing. You're like, hey, wait, did this work? No. Did this work? No. Okay, this is working. I need to do this. That's at least that's what's going on in my mind. Is I'm trying to figure out the mechanics of the game for my survivability. Honestly, well, for a first-person shooter, my survivability. But I am actually still using my Scuff controller for this one. It's actually set up for the Call of Duty, which if you haven't seen, check out the previous video on this channel. Talk a little bit about my controller and a giveaway. But I'm still using my scope control, and this is where I'm using that movement from one cover to the next. And it works pretty well because I believe the button on the bottom underneath my left hand actually is my sprint button, and B is my crouch and go prone. So it actually works pretty well for me. See, like right here, I mean, I've come up pretty close to the enemy without really opening myself up, and anytime I was opening, I was sprinting directly to where I needed to be. Got the kill assist right there. Again, the guy is sitting here laying on the stairs, which I don't know how much that laying in the open actually works on this game. It didn't seem to work too well for him there. Again, another guy. It's an interesting game. There's not, from what I've seen, there's not a whole lot of maps out there. I can't tell you the number right offhand, but the first game that got killed that I jumped into, which there was a host migration issue, was the same one that I played, 20 times in the beta. So I jumped out of that one and jumped into this one, which don't quote me, I believe is called Market. But again, right there is where I was just about to complete the objective, but no idea where my teammates were, and I was kind of just left out there in the open. And that was actually a place that was really close to the enemy spawn as well. So again, this is a corner earlier that I was just getting annihilated at. Now I've jumped over here, throw my little grenade, and I actually get behind cover. And I actually last here a lot longer than I did previously. That corner up there, man, that guy, I think I shot at him the whole match. I could never kill him. But again, using that cover, I've survived more than just one gun battle on this map, or in this position. So again, one of those big things if you're picking up this game is jump on there and work with the cover. Figure out how to use it. And trust me, you'll live a whole lot longer. I've gone in, like I said, I've gotten a couple of points from or unlocks for my weapons. I really haven't used them too much. Again, everything that you put on, or I won't say everything, almost everything you put on the weapon will do something good for it, but it will definitely take away at the same time. So if you put a longer barrel on it, you'll have more power and longer range, but you're going to lose it in maneuverability. It's going to be a heavier barrel. It's going to take you longer to move around. I really like that fact about it because, I mean, there's so many different things you can do to these weapons, and everything doesn't just plus it up. You have to sacrifice something to get longer range or more control or silenced. You lose some damage and some range when you're doing it that way. So again, I really like that about the weapons. You can mess with the trigger, the stock, the magazines, underbarrel, side barrel, optics, muzzle. You can gas where you either overgas or undergas the system, which makes it basically your rapid fire if you're a Call of Duty player. But again, here's me using that cover, and I know where they're going to come from. They're spawning from the right. The spawn system on this, I don't want to say, yeah, that didn't work so well. Kind of got my throat slashed there. But the spawn system, I don't want to say it's a little broken, but basically with this game type, you have your two main spawns. And then if your spawn gets overrun, then you have a secondary spawn, which is close by to your main spawn. So basically, at this point in time, we know everyone's coming from the right unless they literally have run all the way around and snuck up behind us. So I check over on my left side just a little bit, but I'm really watching that right side because I know that's where they're going to be coming from. So good, bad, and different, at least with the conflict game style or game type, that's what you're going to get out of it. So this game is coming to a close. With conflict, kill death doesn't matter. And I'm pretty sure with most of the game types on this, your KD doesn't matter whatsoever. What matters with this game is actually getting those points. And if you don't get those points, you're going to lose, and you're going to lose miserably. I've played, and I know especially in the beta, I played some games with some people who didn't. But, so again, go for those points. Don't worry about your KD. On this one, I believe, I can't even read it there. It's like 15 and 12 or whatnot. The big thing is that experience. I cleaned them up on experience in that first match. But, alright. Again, just my first look at this one. I'll be putting up some other gameplay, different weapons, things like that. But if you want to check out our games channel, all you'll have to do is click on that link on the bottom left-hand side, and then for our graphics channel, that bottom right-hand side, it's going to give you a pop-up window that's going to be those two channels associated with the Flexx network. Again, a lot of good directors over there on games and some extremely talented graphics artists on the other channel. You click in the center of the screen, it says click for a random video. This one's not going to be random. I already know what video I'm going to throw up there right in the center. It's actually going to be our Scuff Gaming Controller giveaway. Basically, what we have done is I got a Scuff Gaming Controller not too long ago, played around with it a little bit. This video is a little bit of a review, tell you kind of what it does, what makes this controller so unique, and then gives you the guidelines for our giveaway. Basically, what I'm going to do is randomly pick one of the individuals who registers for the giveaway and contact them, set them up with a free controller from Scuff Gaming. Again, pretty neat little controller, so check it out. Check out that video, and it is free, absolutely free to enter the giveaway. So go ahead and check that out. If you are not going to use it, which they do have an Xbox and a PS3 version, if you're not going to use it, hey, still go ahead and, my apologies, still go ahead and go for the giveaway and register for it. And if you get it, hell, give away to a friend. These things are, I don't want to say expensive, but pricier than regular controllers. So we're putting a lot into this giveaway, and go and check that out. But other than that, thank you for watching and have a great day.